Welcome everyone back to the Crimson 15 Podcast. I'm your host, Crimson.
N15 PCA.
Be sure to follow us over on Twitter at C15 Podcast. Join the discussion over on Discord, link in the description below. If you're enjoying the videos, be sure to sub, like, share, and hit that bell for notifications. So, we got our new episode. Orville's been 3 weeks. And
boy,
hey man, what a good episode.
Well, off a bang again, another good episode.
And like I've said from the very beginning, what I love about science fiction, good science fiction, is it presents you with a problem and it doesn't give you a clear-cut answer.
Yep.
You can see all sides of it, and you can understand why everyone might think and feel and act a different way. And during this whole episode, I was like, I don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah, I was like, this is
going
going the way.
Is it going to come to blows? Are they going to decide this way or that way? And I'm on the edge of my seat, and I love it.
Yep.
And it's a good bookend because it harkens back to About a Girl, because it all comes back to, while Moclan is a strong and powerful ally, they have some ways of life and the way they do things that are very unhuman.
Yeah.
Very on how we couldn't even begin to even, I want to say, tolerate such behaviors.
Yeah.
But it's their culture, their race, their planet. What are we supposed to do?
Yep. Who
Who are we to go in there and say, your way's wrong?
Yeah, but this one, it starts to bleed in a little bit, unfortunately.
So the episode's called Sanctuary. It's if it fits in. And we get more Trek alumni, which is really cool. But the episode opens up and we get the admirals are telling the crew, hey, Captain Mercer, you're going to pick up some, we're going to get upgrades to our weapons because of the Kaelon threat. The Moclan basically is going to give us stronger weapons, stronger shields. And you're going to pick up 2 scientists, deliver them to another ship. And then that's going to be the mission.
And Mercer's like, oh, we're becoming just a livery service.
A taxi service.
Taxi service. So we want to explore. That's what we're here for. I go, well, this is important.
Yeah.
We got to take these 2 scientists.
And you got these engineers, they're really smart, so it's the least we could do is be kind of an in-between. They get onto the ship, and they're kind of, what I want to say, kind of standoffish.
Yeah.
A little bit. When it's like, first I'm thinking, these guys bad guys, and it's kind of secret, because they have their baggage, and then Tal's like, oh, I can carry that for you. No, it's okay. It's like, oh no, what are these guys up to? And we don't know what they're doing. We see that they open it up and it's all like glowy blue, but we don't see what it's in.
I mean, I remember Crimson made a little joke like, Pulp Fiction, they open up their briefcase. Oh, that's the stuff, huh?
I like how this episode has an A and B plot, but they mix together.
Oh, it looks so much. Probably the best I've seen them even mix them really
because
well.
Usually a B plot is some wacky thing that has nothing to do with anything. B plot is we get, like I said, we get Diana Troy works on the Orville. Yay!
That's so cool.
She's Topa's teacher.
Yeah.
And I guess they're all like building blocks, and then Topa just grabs something from one of the girls. So she's like, "Hey, that was my piece." Well, you're just a girl, female. Your opinion doesn't matter. I can just take whatever I want from you. Oh,
and then he actually shoves the girl to the ground.
And the teacher's like, "What are you doing?" They're like, well, it doesn't matter. She's just a female. My dad said this. My dad said that. I'm like, we know that's freaking. It's not Bortus. It's Clyden.
Yeah.
So he gets in trouble. So the B plot is, how's he going to deal with raising his son and everything? And then we got this other plot, but they all mix together. And we get, I don't like Clyden anymore. I was willing to tolerate him a little bit. I don't know. He's just a piece of crap.
Because literally they go, well, I'm gonna have a talk and then whatever, and then Bortus says he's gonna talk to him, and they did. And Bortus is being like, you should say, you don't do that to her. Don't treat women,
Yeah,
respect.
she's another student. You guys are all equal. And then
Clyden's back there just like,
yeah, he's got a look on his face like, no, they're not, and you could tell. The parent, where one parent believes one thing, another parent believes another, because Bortus is like, we'll discuss your punishment later, but then Clyden kind of gives his Topa look like, oh, don't worry about it, I'll fix it for you.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't do anything wrong. Oh, you piece of crap. I can't stand
No, I'm not going to say, this is the first time now you're approaching your values onto someone else.
Yep,
another
race.
You can't. See, that's where you cross the line to me. Sorry. You can do what you want with your own race, but when it starts going to, like, another alien race, you shouldn't be putting your values onto them.
And it's so funny because you just keep seeing, I wanted them to, after everything they've gone through in their marriage, it's almost like,
after this episode, I want them to get a divorce. If
divorce didn't have to end in death, I wouldn't, because it's not going to work, because Bortus he even talked to Clyde. It's like, does none of being on the ship have ever opened your eyes? Look at all the females who serve in the Union and do an exemplary job, who care and fight and just as strong.
Yeah.
And then Clyde just like,
yeah. And then he goes, well, I was female, I didn't care. And he goes, yeah, but don't you at all. Why don't you? I mean, he's just saying, what's wrong with you? And then he goes, well, we got to change our own daughter to a boy. Basically, I don't remember the exact gist of that conversation.
Yeah.
And Klein and Bortus is looking at him like, you piece of crap to bring that up right now, of all time.
Yeah, to kind of throw that in my face.
Yeah.
Ugh. Another thing I want to bring up, the special effects are top
notch.
again,
amazing.
The only thing is, when they were showing, like, Union Central, the buildings looked a little fake, but, like, the ships and the space
when it came out of space, when it comes out of space, it's been amazing. Yeah, but that's just a minor gripe.
So I'm thinking, well, how are these two little plots going to line up? We get a funny little scene where the captain's like, wait a second, there's a lot of power draw coming from our Moclan, where they're drawing a lot of power to the room, and they have Bortus go check it out.
Yeah, and Kelly says, make sure they're not plugging in they're just plugging in a bunch of
they're going to need extra power for something, they can let us know.
Ask us, yeah.
They try to do some BS, like, something the food synthesizer, and then Bortus like, I ain't buying that. He goes and starts scanning around, and he's like, well, it's not the food synthesizer, so...
I go, what if Bortus gets compromised here? That's what I was first thinking when I saw this.
Then they find out it's like this case. He's like, there's a lot of power being drawn here. Open the case. And then I'm thinking, like...
you can. It's delicate work. Research and Bortus like, no. There's something going on here.
They open it up, and it's a baby, and it's a female.
Yeah.
And we find out that these two guys are basically escaping. And they said we got... There's some planet that granted them, like, asylum.
Retepsia or something, I think it was, yeah.
Yeah, Tricepsia or something. And now Clyden is stuck in this position because he feels like he failed his daughter and Topa undergoing the surgery.
And I mentioned Bortus upon the back of my saying, why couldn't Clyden be like this?
Yeah, we
could have had a daughter as a girl, no, but he's just so steadfast in his old ways.
Man, he is fundamentalist hardcore.
I mean, like I said, I this episode I really now hate him. I don't like him at all.
There is redemption for everyone. He can turn around, but damn, he's a piece of crap in this episode.
Yeah, he is.
But so now we're like, well, is Bortus gonna report this to the captain? Yeah. Because it's like one of those things where he has that internal conflict because they even say it. They go, we know about your trial. We know what you're going through. Let us, basically complete what you started.
Yeah, and it's like, what's he gonna say then? Playing on his heartstrings, basically.
Of course, we get a commercial break because we have to think about it.
Yeah.
And then Bortus contacts the captain. They had some perishable items that they needed extra energy for. He freaking lied.
No, the first part he said, they need energy for extra power. Like, is he gonna tell him? No, and he said perishables, which which is not wrong.
Last time I checked, the baby is a perishable item.
Yeah, but a live omission's still a lie.
So he betrayed.
You just see the sorrow and just the sympathy in his eyes, Bortus. He just...
Then he goes and checks on his son, and he goes like, I want to... Is everything going okay with Topa? And she's like, yeah, he's no incidents today, and hopefully what you told him, because... But you have two parents with two literally polar opposite beliefs.
Yep.
Bortus is willing to accept females as equals, and... Clyden's just literally like, no, they're basically, it sickens me to even see them.
Yeah, that's how much difference. This is the first time I never wanted to compare the Moclans to being like, I've said fundamentalists before, but now Muslim fundamentalists, this is the first time I'm seeing it now.
Yeah, where it's super hardcore.
It's like, guys, it's a little much.
Yeah, where there is no wavering.
No, there's not.
It's this way or no way.
Yep.
And you get a lot of that in this episode. Yeah. But he basically tells the teacher, hey, I want to pull my son out of class early. It's for... family reasons, and he brings his son to see the little girl.
What are you doing, Bortus? I'm like, why?
He's gonna tell Topa. He's gonna tell him.
He's gonna tell Clyden, yeah.
Oh yeah. Topa's gonna tell Clyden. Yeah. But he wanted to show his son, look, there are females. They're very rare, but here's one, and look at her. Yep. Does she look dangerous? Yeah. Is she a monster? And I was thinking, maybe he's trying to turn his son a little bit to...
I see what Bortus is trying to do here. But now I remember the conversation they had before. They're talking about, they were talking about how, how they changed their son to a boy, like that whole thing from the beginning. Him and Klein were talking about that, and he's saying he doesn't even know he was a girl. And going, someday, Bortus, I want to tell him. He needs to know.
When he's old enough,
I'll tell him. He needs to know. I'm not gonna hire like you did. And then that's when he does that butthurt about, we changed our kid. Just stab at him.
You don't. That's such a touchy subject for him, man. You don't bring up. What happened there to Bortus? He just does not.
I mean, almost as a general rule in general, fathers and daughters, no, you don't bring that up when it's a sensitive subject.
But he shows off the baby to Topa, and like, okay, maybe it worked out. Maybe it did.
And then the Moclan shit got him like, okay, they're getting off the ship. I'm almost saying, go, get off the ship, go off the ship.
I love the way their ships look.
Oh, yeah. The
Again, I brought this up in the other episode. I love how you can silhouette these ships and you'd be like, oh, yeah, that's a Moclan ship. That's a Krill ship. Yeah. That's a Union vessel.
The Kalon, because of the circles.
I love the diversity of style and everything because they almost look like, they're almost bird-like. Yeah. Like, even how it looks like they have little eyes in the front and everything. They're pretty cool. I like them.
Very cool. But,
yeah, they get onto their little transport vessel and they actually go onto theirs. I'm like, oh, no provocation. Everything seems to be fine.
Like, they said there's got to be something.
Because this is what, like 10 minutes into the episode or whatever. Yeah. Like something's got to go down. Yeah. Then you get a communications like Commander Bortus come to the Mercer's office. Like, oh, he walks in there. Everyone's in there. Topa and Clyde, and they're like, oh, he told. And
he goes, sorry, I didn't want to, Dad, but it's his father. He don't want to lie to his dad, but. At this point, Bortus is looking at Clyde and like, I don't know who you are. I don't know why.
Why do you care?
Yeah.
This is such a small little thing in the grand scheme of things. Like, I gotta tell my neighbors and my friends.
You can't let one get away. Nope. Just can't let one. Nope.
That's such a hardcore.
Yeah.
And then the captain's like, apparently we had an extra passenger, and he's like, yes, I know, Captain. And he's like, you were never gonna tell me about it. And he's like, basically, they're seeking refuge and everything. I didn't want to jeopardize their trip. He's like, it was a Union vessel. And this could have been a million different things. He could have kidnapped that kid.
Yeah, he said that's at that point, Mercer makes a good point. You should have told us just something that means we don't know if they're lying. They could be lying to you. You don't know what their story checks out. They just told you a story.
And then I started thinking, oh, dang, what if they kidnapped this girl from another family to give her the operation?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, we know? Geez, maybe
and then even Finn said a simple DNA test would have verified it. I could have just did that.
And I think Mercer felt a little hurt too. Like, you didn't think I would do the right thing.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, I think everyone.
He didn't want as many people to know.
Yes.
The less people, the better. I don't think it was anything aside of Mercer. So I think he knew he'd do the right thing, but he's just thinking, I don't want to let so many people.
But Mercer's like, we need to track down the ship, and we have to make sure that these are the real parents, and their story checks out.
Yeah.
And so they're gonna go looking for the ship. Like, wait a second, it's not going to that planet they said they were going to. And there's no signature of their ship or anything. We can't scan them for nothing. Like, whoa, what are they?
And then William the funny thing, we made a party ship.
He's like, oh, I have an idea. Maybe they're masking their iron signature. Because I remember one time me and my buddies in the academy like took a shuttle and made it like a party bus. And then so we could like hide it. And he goes, oh, I think we got caught when we smashed into this tree. But before that, we were pretty good.
Yeah, they used a tractor beam to like dissipate the iron trail.
Yeah, so they couldn't pick up on it.
Pick it up. Okay.
Basically gives Isaac the idea to like, to scan for that. So they find it. Everyone's cool with Isaac.
Yeah.
I just wish there was something a little more with Isaac being not so easily accepted.
But you notice he doesn't. You don't see him meeting with people anymore.
Yeah.
You don't see them. So maybe that's. I know. I just want that. Just give me a little bit. Then they get over it. Then it's fine.
But they end up finding where it's going, and it's just like this nebula. Man, does it look beautiful?
Oh my goodness!
This purple nebula is just like this. This is how outer space is so freaking cool.
Yeah.
I know. When Trek, whenever they would enter like the ion storms and nebulas and stuff, it's always so cool looking, and I love it.
No, we have time storms now.
Yeah, we have time storms now. But look how cool that is.
That's amazing. They said it's like 1 trillion kilometers long, so this thing is massive.
And within this nebula, there's a whole bunch.
There's like 3 planets.
They're like, what the heck? They're like, well, this is where it was heading. They scan the planet. Like, whoa, wait a second. There's life signs down there. And there's Moclan life signs down there. It's like, well, it's just like a secret little Moclan little world.
Yeah, exactly. They say there's thousands.
Yeah, there's thousands of them. So this is a hefty little colony. Yeah. This isn't like a escape rendezvous thing. Yeah. This is like a real place where people are living.
Yeah.
They're like, well, we got to make a trip down there. They go down there and they're meted by a bunch of like there's security forces. Mm-hmm. It's all females.
Female. I had a feeling they were going to be female.
So
too.
It's a colony of female Moclans.
Yeah.
And I actually really, I love our commenters. I love how you guys always come up with really cool ideas and thoughts. I remember way back in season 1, people were like, there's got to be more females. The way that they say it's only 1 out of every 200, I can't remember what commenter said this, but they're like, just because we know that Clyden was, they had a female, that other lady was a female, it's got to be way more.
Oh, of course.
And that's the truth, because they end up meeting with that same lady. The
one who's they're supposed to be their storied philosopher.
And she's like, yeah, the government's been lying to us. There's way more females.
Than they let everyone know, yeah.
So that whole setup, like, oh, it's this big rarity thing. No, it probably happens just as often as humans.
But that's the way to keep a lie, though, by saying something like that. The government telling you a lie when there's actually the opposite of that.
So you commenters, you guys got it right.
Yeah,
right
you
back
guys
to season
gold star
1.
on that. Yeah, whoever did that, I'm sorry we don't remember your username, but that was amazing.
But yeah, so now we got the situation here. Well, now they know they're here.
Yeah.
And even the security lady who's there is like, we can't let them leave because
that's 300 people.
Because everyone, not only, she's like, we can trust these people, but what about everyone on that ship?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, oh God.
Yeah, especially Clyde. And I was thinking Clyde, and he always.
Clyde is on the hotline to his planet right now going, I gotta call in a commie, you know?
Yeah, I know, right?
He's, oh God.
I mean, you could just see him in the black and white thing with the phone in 1950s. I'm gonna call about these communists. I know, right? To the FBI.
But, and so they kind of set up a kind of underground railroad network.
And she literally goes from back and forth. So when they found her on Moclan, she was already there at the time, and then she goes back to this place, back and forth.
It's a very underground railroad. Harriet Tubman. It has that feel to it because they're willing to risk life and limb to save these girls.
But it's funny they left her alone because I wonder if that's because they're their most famous philosophers why they left her alone. But now at this point they don't care now because all bets are off if they find out what's going on.
And Mercer says, "Hey, why don't you request the Union for asylum to be considered an independent nation?" And I'm like, oh man, because that's all or nothing.
Yeah.
And I like this lady because she's like, it was going to happen eventually. We're going to have to come out of the shadows eventually. And you know what? And I believe in our convictions enough to stand before the Planetary Union and do the right thing.
And because she said, if not, they're going to hightail out. They're going to go to another area. And he goes, no, let me give you another solution. Because eventually, you're going
to be running forever.
They're running forever. They're going to find you. It's just a matter of time.
And of course, and then they grant at least a hearing.
Yeah,
you can speak your say. Then they'll have all the other members of the union. They can speak their say, and then we'll make the call.
And of course, the Moclans are like ticked off. They're ticked off beyond belief. They don't even want this to happen.
And then they're talking to Halsey here, and he's like, "This is a very delicate situation because the Moclans provide us with a lot of weapons, but then Mercer's like, it's more than that.
Yeah.
But there is that Kaelon threat."
Yeah.
So you can see both sides. Is it worth throwing away all these women's lives?
But you have to remember exactly, and then but you still have the Krill there. That's the wild card out of all this too. And
they're the Joker in the
whole thing.
I can see both sides of this argument.
This is so good.
But this is the lives of millions. Before it was played up like, oh, it's one every couple thousand. No, it's probably almost 50-50, I bet.
Exactly.
And everyone's so the word never gets out because people are so afraid and so indoctrinated.
Well, and not only that, she probably wanted to tell Mercer, but she's afraid to tell anyone at that point when she first met him back last season because of that very thing of people finding out. They're so secretive about it. Oh, this is the best.
It makes me smile because it's so silly, but it's so fitting. And they're bringing her back to go to Earth.
And he told Kelly, "You're going to guard this planet in case the Moclans try to do something."
Yeah, Orville's going to stay here. We're going to take a shuttle to Earth.
Yeah, you're protecting this planet.
And they're talking anything, and she's like, "Hey, Captain, what of the females in your planet?" And she's like, "Oh," he's like, "Yeah, they're allowed to make." She's like, "Oh, can they make art?" Because she's a writer. She's like, "Oh yeah, they can make art and they can sing, they can serve in the military." And she's like, "Oh, what a wonderful place and everything." And he's like, "Oh, you can even
look at our cultural database.
Our culture database. They have a lot of everything. You learn anything you want about our females." And then she clicks on a song, and it's Dolly Parton's 9 to 5. And then she's listening to the voice.
Who sings this song?
It's a rallying cry for our people, for our struggle.
And then I like Mercer's response, well, there's plenty of other songs you can pick. You don't have to
no, this is the one. Dolly Parton will be the voice of our people. It's it's silly, but you know what? If you listen to the lyrics, it's about a woman who goes to work, works just as hard as everyone else, but you
have to think of it from the perspective of her.
Yeah.
She's oppressed. Her people, they never had a woman say, yeah, I'm going to do it this way.
Do you remember how impressed Bortus was with Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer?
Yeah.
She's just impressed.
I think that's just in their nature. They don't see other viewpoints, other things.
Well, see, the thing is, because if it's written in a song, it must be important.
Yeah.
Because they're culturally rich in the way that if it's written in language and people sing a song about it, it must be this grand story.
And that's the problem with Klingons are like that too.
So the battling, rallying cry for the future is Dolly Parton, damn it.
He said, you know what? Okay, go Dolly. Go for her, I guess.
And that's when you get that shot. It does look a little computer generated. Like you can tell the city escape. If I had to say,
but remember, they might have to do little cuts because that identity.
But the special effects in space look amazing.
Amazing, yeah.
So we actually get this meeting here, and we get to see a lot of cool aliens.
Yeah.
A lot of cool makeup jobs and masks, and I love that.
No. And like I said, just like a Federation Council, you see all the different races.
Oh, I thought it's supposed to be all in dark and black, and you see them in shadow. Oh no, that's Discovery when they did their.
That's so dumb.
Remember when they were trying Michael Burnham?
They don't do it in shadow. That's not.
I'm surprised they didn't have voice changers.
I know, right?
No, it's supposed to be like this, like a real meeting where there's actual civilians.
When you have debate, yeah.
Civilians can attend, and then you have all the diplomats.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes freaking sense.
You even see Yampit's people, and you see the Retipsians people.
Yeah, it should have been Derulio.
Yeah, all right. Well, he's not a diplomat. He's an archaeologist.
So they invite her to come and speak, and then the Moclan delegation like, you shouldn't even allow this thing to speak. It's immoral. She's a fugitive. She's a criminal. Then they're like, they put him in his place. Not here. Anyone can speak here. If we invite them to speak, they speak. So you need to sit down and listen, and you'll have a turn to say what you need to say.
Yeah, remember, and I would have said, now if I was Mercer, I said, remember when we had that trial, for Bortus' kid? We didn't do that to her. We followed your proceedings. Well, now you're going to follow these now. She has a right to speak.
And she gives a beautiful speech.
Yeah.
About, like, if we aren't granted this, you're granting us a death sentence. Yeah. Because they're going to come in and force us to change our genders and or throw us in jail and if not kill us.
Yep.
Outright. Yep. And they're going to do it against our wills. Yep. And what does that say for a species like how you treat the most vulnerable people in your culture is a measure of your culture overall.
Because that's the easiest to get rid of. That's the easiest to ignore. Yeah. It is.
Eliminate the very young, the very old, and the people who can't defend themselves.
Yep.
And she's like, I know in all these races across the planetary union, there's been people who are oppressed by people who are stronger.
Yeah.
And those people stood up, and those people wanted a voice, and then they gained a voice, and now they're part of this union, and that's what makes it stronger. And then she makes a quote from Dolly Parton.
He's like, oh god, this famous. He's like, oh, philosopher's like, oh god. You can just merge says, oh no, she's gonna do it, and she does.
But here's the thing: if you just read the lyrics,
but she sees like a normal,
she just says it like you would like talking it. Yeah. I go to work 9 to 5. She's saying, I love it. It's so great.
And then you see Malloy look at Mercer like, really, Mercer? You showed her Dolly Parton? What the heck's wrong with you?
But she picked it out.
Yeah.
And then and I feel the boss is out to get me.
The man, right?
I love it. But she gets a nice little round of applause, and how could you not agree with that?
Yeah.
Everyone, especially in a future here where there is basically unlimited energy, unlimited. There's no.
These shouldn't be problems anymore.
Yeah, you should be above that.
Yeah.
The external having to interact with other cultures, that's the problem.
And I've said this before. It seems like the union, yes, they have other members, but they let them keep their own military, let them keep their own uniforms. There's no real integration as opposed to the Federation where you all integrate into the Starfleet.
They're very autonomous.
Yes.
But this is what happens when you have that.
Yeah.
Ugh. There's so many, and then of course
these things are going to come up, and this came up in a big way here.
So Kelly is still on the Orville, and they're orbiting the planet,
patrolling. Yeah.
And here comes a Moclan.
How do they even know where this is at?
See, they never really explained.
I'm thinking, man, did Klein give him a message because I don't trust anything past him.
When you see the Moclan ship coming through the nebula, how cool does that look?
Oh, that looks amazing.
So freaking badass. They show up and they're like, oh, get him on the comms. So what are you doing here? Well, we're waiting decision because if they are to be found as fugitives, we're going to bring them back home, and we want to do it without any interference. That's why they basically brought like one of their battle cruisers. Yeah. And then Kelly's like, well, until that happens, we're both going to just sit here. So why don't you just go ahead and sit tight?
Yeah, exactly. We'll all sit here. How about that? We're not going anywhere.
And it's like, oh, geez. So now we have two ships ready to freaking duke it out. It's funny, you have the diplomatic side that's happening on Earth.
But you also have this potential hot spot here between these two.
But man, talk about the tension.
Oh yeah, the whole thing. I was like, oh, what's gonna happen?
And I mean, for Bortus,
yeah,
because he's on a ship that may potentially fire on his own people.
Yeah,
but how can he respect his own people if they're willing to do these things?
I think you see throughout the episode, Bortus is getting sick of his people. I think he's just sick of it. He's starting to see them as being, sexist and just terrible.
So the Moclan delegation gets their chance to talk, and of course, it's all very.
You need us.
Yeah. First, they say that it's like these women are like genetic, malfunctions. Oh, the fact that they're females, why they're wrong. We're just fixing them, and these people are kidnapping our children and bringing them here to do this. I know on Earth you may not care about your children, but we do, and it's like, oh, f you, buddy.
Yeah,
this is completely.
Yeah, you're using your own twisted logic to try to get what you want,
and then
hurt these kids.
And then he makes an argument that has nothing to do with what's happening. Oh, if you do this, we're going to withdraw and you're not going to have our weapons or defenses. What does that have to do with what you're doing to these women?
Nothing.
But he's trying to do that extra little, because they don't have a lot.
No.
Hey, we're male chauvinist jerks. Listen to us, or we'll take away all our defenses.
Yeah.
So, of course, but that does mean something. The Kalan threat is real.
Yeah, it is.
But at the same time, you can tell Mercer's like, wait a second, they're not going to go it alone because then they're going to die.
Yeah.
We have to stay together, and they know that.
Yeah.
But, of course, the Admiral's like, do we call that bluff? Because the Moclans seem to be willing to die for everything.
Yeah. And at this point, this is when they have a meeting all together. It's cool to see all the Admirals in a room with them.
Yeah, they break for a recess, and they kind of just talk about
all the ones we've seen after the series so far. And they're basically saying, well, we have to side with them. We need the weapons. And like Mercer's like, no, that's wrong, guys.
What are we saving in this union if we can't even protect the weakest people?
Yeah.
And they've done nothing wrong.
No.
They're not fugitives. They didn't break any laws. Their only crime was being born.
And the thing is, I love when they say kidnapping. I think the parents are willing to take their kids there. They're not kidnapping girls.
But Moclans consider every citizen to be like a citizen of the planet.
Yeah.
So if you take one away, you're taking.
Yeah, but if the parents are agreeing to it, you see what I'm saying? It's such a weird gray. It's like you don't even have that to stand on.
And again, they do bring that up. What are the humans the moral superiority of the universe? But these are people who did nothing wrong.
That's the thing.
There's certain. Absolutes. When someone wants to live their life, that's just they just want to live their life.
But then Mercer makes a good point, saying you only care about this because of the weapons. And what I say about them, and then I'll be thinking to myself, Mercer, why don't we start making our own weapons and more enough that we won't need the Moclans anymore? See, that's the thing.
But Admiral Ted Danson here is like, don't make this up that kind of thing because it's deeper than that. But of course, if you boil it down, that's what it feels like. It really does feel like you're doing it just for the weapons and the defenses and the extra ships and everything. Yep. And you can see both sides of this argument because what if they do break off, the Kalan comes and now everyone's dead. Yeah. Those women are dead, I'm dead, you're dead, everyone's dead.
Yeah.
Or so is it, but is it willing to, or as a human race, as living beings of this universe, are we willing to sacrifice all those women?
Yeah.
And you're right there, and you get to make the decision.
Yeah.
This isn't some decision that was made by somebody else. You're making that decision.
Exactly.
And if someone decided one way or the other, I personally, you have to protect those women because they committed no crime.
No, nothing.
Just the fact that they were born, that's their crime.
Yeah, if they did
Screw you.
If it was like a case where that one Union officer that left and started terrorist acting, because that's a different situation. No, they didn't do any of that. They just left the planet.
Or they were kidnapping male babies and turning back to females.
Yeah, that'd be wrong.
See, but that wasn't the case here.
No.
They were literally taking the ones that were naturally born female
and they just let them go,
keeping them that way.
Yeah.
See, and and Moclan will have to come to an agreement. You have to make them compromise.
Yeah.
Why do we have to compromise?
They always, and the thing is, the unions always compromise the Moclans all the time.
But that's two different. The two different ways of diplomacy.
Yeah.
Through strength, and you need to bend to us, or the other way around.
Yeah.
We get back to the Orville, and then Kelly's kind of giving Bortus an update. Hey, they're deliberating. They broke for
recess till tomorrow.
Clyden walks up. I've been looking for you, Bortus. You need to come home. And he's like, he's done. I don't want to talk to you about this anymore.
Yeah.
He goes like, we have much to discuss. Like, we have nothing to discuss until they make a decision.
Then we'll have something to talk about.
And then
because I'm having a drink, I don't want to leave now.
And he's like, hey, there's the opportunity. Clyden's like, there's a good chance that we're gonna have to go back to Moclus.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, you would just love that, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
He's being kind of catty.
I don't blame Bortus anymore.
Bortus. And he's like, no, I know what I said. He's like, you hate this ship. Yeah. You've never been comfortable here. There's females everywhere, and they disgust you. He's like, no, it doesn't. You didn't even address Commander Kelly, and she's the acting captain.
And you never do. You never address any females on the ship.
Yeah, you think it was less. And he's like, and then Kelly's like, I need to back out. It's like, no, you need to stay here. I'm like, whoo, man.
And then Kelly gets a message. She's like, okay, I gotta go, guys. She goes, I'm out of here.
But Bortus, I think he's fed up with this freaking bullcrap from his husband. I love you, but my God, you are so staunch.
What are you willing to still hold fast to the point where you could potentially have a whole race of females being slaughtered? I mean, is that where we're going here?
But he is so indoctrinated, so ingrained into his very being. It'd be like, oh, someone went and killed a bunch of ants in their backyard. Yeah. That's how little he sees it.
And literally, I think the fact that he was female, maybe he just hates females. The fact he was one, maybe it's
the self-hating a little bit.
Self-hating, yeah.
But they get an alert to get to the bridge, and they're like, whoa, there's shuttles going down to the planet.
Hey, wait a minute, they haven't made a decision yet.
Kelly's like, get him on the hail them. What the hell are you doing? Oh, I've been getting orders by Moclus to retrieve these fugitives or whatever. She's like, there hasn't been a decision yet. Well, too bad. And they're just doing it anyways. Damn, these Moclans are insane.
Exactly. Couldn't even wait to the council. And the council's probably going to give them what they wanted. But they just forced their hand here. It's like, well, guys, you didn't even give us a chance to have our say in this? You're part of the Union.
Kelly's like, I don't want to fire on these guys, but I'm going to do what I'm going to do. Yeah. She contacts command, and they talking to the Moclan delegation like, what the hell are you doing? We haven't made a decision yet. And they're like, we're going to retrieve these fugitives, and then they're playing hardball.
And then that's when they bring up the line, well, you might not care about your kids, but we do. Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's exactly what's happening here. And we're rescuing those children.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we're liberating them with the guns and taking them from their families. And then...
this is Halsey gets some
Halsey's really funny. Halsey's like, the official's order is, Kelly, you need to tell her to stand down. But since she's in this nebula and the messages get garbled, maybe something gets mixed up.
Maybe she doesn't hear that and she ends up doing something that we don't know about. And then Mercer's like, well, I won't get garbled. What are you talking about? He's like, oh, yeah, forget it when he's saying
Mercer. He's like, wink, wink, you dumb.
Yeah, Mercer.
Because
I think at that point, Halsey's like, they didn't even let us get a chance. We were probably going to side with them now. Forget it now. Now you got to protect him now. That's bullcrap.
Kelly basically gets that message from Mercer. Mercer's like, officially, I'm asking you to stand down. Unofficially, why don't you go down to the planet and work on your 10?
Exactly.
Wink, wink. And he's like, oh, yeah, okay. She's going to take she's going to go there by herself.
Yeah.
She should have brought like a detachment.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
But Bortus is like, I'm not letting you go alone. She's like, no, this is a career ender. I can't let you do that.
Potentially, yes.
And then Bortus is like, I'm going to disobey your order because Bortus is... He's gone back up. I know he had his porn addiction and all things like that, but he has stepped it up, and he has.
That's why he's my favorite character. He love this guy.
He's his values. He's gonna stick to him because these girls did nothing wrong,
and he's done. I think he's fed up with society. He's fed up with Clyde, and he's fed up with all of it. He's fed up with his people.
So they go down there. I'm like, oh, they should have brought more people. But
I thought so too. I mean, why not bring Tala? My goodness, she's so strong. I guess they need someone to command the ship, but
so Tala's captain now because when everyone.
Well, Gatan did it. She was nervous. She's just ready. She's just right in there.
Well, see, the thing is too, this is no time for anyone. Even if she is nervous, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
So they're going down the planet. That Moclan ship freaking puts a tractor beam on them.
Are you kidding? Wow.
I'm thinking, what are they gonna do? Tala straight up says. You lock in, power up everything.
And then Malloy's like, no, we can't do that. You need to get orders from higher up. That's a Moclan ship. We can't fire on that. That's an act of war. What are you doing? She's like, no, I'm acting captain. Isaac, target their freaking deflector array or whatever. And Isaac did it. And he does it, and boom, we got ourselves a battle. And then all of a sudden, they start shooting back at them. Oh, I guess they're fighting each other.
So, they get down to the planet. There's going to be a little battle there. We get a battle in this cool nebula thing between a Moclan ship and a Union vessel. Yep. So the battle starts up.
Yeah, thanks for the upgrades.
They get down to the planet, and they're basically full-blown pulling all of them out of their houses.
Oh, yeah.
And,
yeah, it's like a forced evac. It's terrible. It's awful. It's the worst that you could imagine.
The gun battle starts. And it's really funny because she's like, I'm giving you one chance to stand down or whatever. And they're like, oh, just like, man, they never listen. Even though that's like a, kind of like a feminist thing. It was funny in this situation.
Yeah, because these guys deserve it. These Moclans are really like that.
The gun battle starts, and then we get the rallying cry. Oh, the song all soldiers think of when they're in battle. Dolly Parton's 9 to 5 starts playing over the battle.
And it literally plays for like 5 minutes. It's hilarious.
There's during the whole entire fight scene.
Yeah.
I love action. I love space combat. And I can see how some people might detract. Oh, that was silly. It pulled out the seriousness out of the situation. But
you have to look at it from the Moclan's perspective, that song.
And it's kind of funny how, even though it's kind of a dun, 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 it's an upbeat song, but we're having a battle where people could die and get killed. And
but their leader of the female Moclans sees it as that's why you have to look at it from that perspective. You can't look at it from it's like, well, why are they playing this,
I would this battle isn't I don't feel it's diminished by it. No. I think it's a fun little diversion because it lets you know that hey, the Orville's its own thing. We're willing to do something like this during something that in other sci-fi shows they've never in a million years would have.
But it fits in this world. It fits in this universe.
It feels like it fits. So if someone detracts and says, "Oh, that was stupid," it ruined it.
I'm sure we will get that.
I can understand you.
Yeah,
I can, and again, in a certain way, for me being like I love combat and the way that they do the combat in this show. How the ships are always moving and turning and diving and everything.
And I say give it a pass in my perspective because you got the amazing one with identity. Okay, you can just enjoy that. Okay, let's just have this little one.
I think, but again, it's still a cool fight. Yeah. And then I like how cool that looks.
Oh yeah.
You get the angle where the Moclan ship is firing, and you see the cannon actually,
yeah,
and it's shooting down at them, and they're flying through the nebula.
I remember one thing. I don't know if we got the comments from the first season, but they said how they get all the nautical aviation terms right on the show.
Yeah.
So when it comes to like guns and guns of weaponry, would look
because they're saying starboard side, aft. They're using the actual real terminology that you would on a ship.
Yeah.
So during this battle, we're having a diplomatic.
During this battle's going
so
on.
It's like they're handling it that way. We're going to try to handle it this way. Then we have the delegates are saying this is a Moclan problem. Let them deal with it. Yeah. It has nothing to do with us. But these people are crying out for help to you, and you're going to shun them.
Yeah.
But again, it does make sense. It makes more sense to keep them in the Union because it's for the defense of billions.
Oh, it's a Selayan. That was a Selayan. That's cool.
Yeah. So is the Chancellor guy too.
Yeah.
And then Halsey's kind of getting more on Mercer's side.
Well, because they forced their hand too. That's kind of screwed up. You didn't even wait.
And I thought it was kind of a funny little clap back from Mercer. He's like, you withdraw your forces and you think you're going to join with the Krill. It's still not strong enough.
Yeah.
You guys will all die and this little planet's hitting away. So I guess the Moclans will live on. They'll all live on as females. How befitting would that be for your race? That all the men died and all that's left are the females.
Yeah, because they might not even know it's there. Yeah, because they said before they go, he's one model land ourselves with the Krill. How would you like that? And it's like...
And here's the thing, though. The Krill have females, too.
Yeah.
And I don't think they'll take any light for them doing something like that.
No.
So, no. I don't think they would allow...
They think everyone else is scum, but you're not doing that to our feet. That ain't going to happen.
So, we get that kind of, little back and forth. And then Halsey comes up with a tentative solution. Yeah. He says, how about this? You leave this planet alone. But in return, they will stop their network of taking babies from Moclus. And then that will be the compromise.
And we won't even recognize them an independent nation. They'll just be refugees on this planet.
But you cannot have any contact with them.
Yeah.
And that will be under no uncertain terms will you ever make contact with this planet. Yeah. So I guess that is the best solution.
Yeah. It's good for future girls, but what can you do? I mean, it's the best you could do.
Then they kind of get the battle's still going on that planet. Yeah. And then they basically stop the fight, and I guess which is cool that they literally got orders to stop fighting, so they stopped fighting.
Yeah,
which is nice, and they basically leave them there to their people, which is it's not a perfect victory, but when do you get a perfect victory?
No, there had to be a compromise. There's no other way they could have handled without being really bad.
They get back to the They bring that lady back. Again, I'm sorry, I forget her name. They bring her back to the planet. And she's so optimistic. I love this lady. She's super cool.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like, and Mercer's like, I'm sorry, this didn't happen. She's like, it's not we didn't get what we didn't win, but we didn't lose either. Yeah. Because the other way around, these girls would be on the planet undergoing forced surgery, mutilation.
Or in prison or dead.
Or dead. But they're not. They're here and they're alive and they're going to live their lives. So I take that as a victory. It's that one small step. And she's so positive.
Yeah.
I love
and we're hoping that someone else will take up the mantle and do what we did somewhere else.
And you know that and when you change a society, it's one act of defiance, one act. You just take that one step, and it is true.
Yeah.
And hopefully, maybe throughout the generations, but more Moclans realize more females are being born. Maybe you do get that turning point.
Yeah. And then he tells a little funny. So, what did Dolly Parton? Would she be proud of me?
Oh yeah, she'd be proud.
Yeah, she'd be proud of you. See, that's what made it sense when they did the song. It fits perfectly.
And I thought this was, again, man, they do such good touching scenes. And they do it without words. You see, they're back on the Orville. Everyone's safe and happy. Bortus is walking towards. I'm like, where is he going? Is he going? I'm like, oh man, there's going to be a Clyden competition.
I know, because that would have been intense.
So he walks and he goes into the classroom and sees his son playing with the girl, and they're laughing and they're having fun and they're sharing. And he sees his son and he has that little bit of a smile. Maybe my son grows up and he is like
Klein's a lost cause, but maybe he will. And he gets the first kind of smile you ever see.
And he has a little bit of tears in his eyes too, because maybe my son, my generation is lost, but maybe the next one will step it up and do the right thing.
Maybe we spark the fuse. That's all it takes. Every little fire we start will start a blaze of equality and all that stuff.
So wow, what a fun, great episode! I liked it.
9.5. I mean, McFarlane, you're just bringing aces after aces. It's incredible.
I can see how certain people may not like, again, the whole Dolly Parton thing, but I think it fits. And I think it has the overall message of it made it that much more. If you just think of it as instead of this big, powerful orchestral score, you have Dolly Parton instead.
I think also the point you need to realize too is that we've seen how Bortus goes over the top on things. So that's Moclan's. Yeah. See, we never saw Bortus. You're like, oh, why is she doing it? See, it makes sense in the in the world how Moclans are like that.
So the two champions of Moclas are Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and Dolly Parton.
You gotta love it. And it's done beautifully. I mean,
so sincere.
My goodness, you can write these stories like no one's business. Star Trek missed their opportunity, but I'm glad they did because I'd rather have this show right now.
Yeah.
It's just incredible.
It's a lot of fun. The space battle was cool. I like the way their rifles, they're very Mass Effectist looking. Yes. They look like the Black Widow.
And when you mentioned too, when they first went down, they had that kind of Wakanda feel in it.
Yeah, like they had like the cool little armors and everything.
Yeah, look cool.
But, I'm glad that it was... I don't like super clean endings. This wasn't clean.
No, it wasn't.
It was another compromise. But that's life.
Yeah.
No one walks into a situation, I want A, B, C, and D, and you get A, B, C, and D. No, you probably get A, a little bit of C, and you never get D.
I mean, at some point, I don't know how Bortus puts McClydon. I'm swear, it's to a point where it's time. It's time. I don't know what...
But maybe when Topa gets older, he can talk to his father and be like, Father, your ways of thinking, it's wrong. Someone shouldn't be punished just for the way they're born.
Yeah.
They had no control of that.
Nope.
And you cannot take that from them.
Nope.
Without their consent. And if someone wants they want to be they want to transition to whatever, they make that decision when they're old enough.
Yeah.
But to remove that decision from the individual is wrong.
But the problem is they made a transition for them. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's the thing. They made a decision for them.
Yeah. No choice.
And then to brand them as criminals and freaks and that's just wrong.
Mm-hmm. And who cares about this one planet? It's off the grid. It's not like they were on Moclas doing this. They're off the grid. Why do you care?
But the thing is they consider them fugitives.
Yeah.
So they could they're criminals for living their lives.
That's insane. It's insane. They don't even have ships or anything. They just want to live in peace.
They barely have weapons.
Yeah, they look like they're living. Yeah, they have like laser weapons, but they don't have like living.
Yeah, they don't have their own like new planetary defenses.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I like this episode.
Amazing.
Another good episode that we could talk about and have a conversation because there is a conversation to have. Is it worth sacrificing all these women to save the universe?
I'm thinking if the Moclans didn't force their hand and intervene, I think they were going to give the Moclans everything they wanted. But at this point, we can't. You're not even willing to give us our say? No.
Yeah.
And we're willing to give you everything you wanted, but you couldn't even let us get to our conclusion with it. That's just wrong.
I can't wait for the comments on this one because I think there's gonna be some really cool discussion. And again, everyone in our comments, you guys are so smart.
Yeah,
you come up with all these cool ideas, and some of you guys called out the idea that there are more females, and bam, you guys are right.
Yeah, you hit it on the head.
See, I didn't even think of that.
No,
and it's so cool. That's why I love. That's what good science fiction has. All these conversations.
And Franz is the king of the callback every time,
and it came back. So do you have anything else on this episode?
Also, this thing is this is like I said, this is the only kind of flaw of the union. They kind of let them be autonomous. Their members. They need to be more integrated, but they're not. This feels more like how Archer got the Federation going in 61 as opposed to what it should be. Where they're all wearing the same uniform, all the same standard, and got past all that. But
the fear of I want to join the union, but I don't want my planet to lose its individuality and everything.
It makes it easier to join, but then you get problems like this. Mm-hmm. That's the problem with different cultures and
man, see, they're just lucky that the Kalans haven't struck back sooner.
Yeah.
Because
I think they're going to build a big force. I have a feeling
it's going to be like an overwhelming wall.
Yeah, they're going to be thousands and tens of thousands of ships. They're just going
to. But also the Kalans have no concept of time really.
No.
So let's wait 1,000 years and try again.
Yeah.
But they'll be long.
I mean, Isaac waited 700 years, and that felt like 700 seconds to him. So.
But that's I really like this episode.
Yeah.
It's just another one that goes on the shelf of like, you guys want to see a really cool episode of a sci-fi show? Boom, you can pull this one out.
Oh, it's incredible. It's just incredible.
Unless you got anything else, I think we kind of covered it.
We covered it all. I mean, I can't wait for the comment section. This is going to be amazing.
So, see you guys in the comments, and we do response videos every the day before the new episode, and it's up usually that morning. Yep. So, leave comments. No restraints, and if you want to write us a freaking doctorate of what you thought, we'll read it because that's what good science fiction does.
And you want to criticize, that's fine, but at least give us the reason why.
Yeah, we do give it. The episode sucked. Well, let us know why you thought it sucked, and we'll talk about it.
That doesn't mean anything to me. You got to be more elaborate than that.
But see you guys in the comments. I've been your host, Crimson Sin.
M15 PCA.
See you guys later.
See you later. Bye.
Crimson Sin here. Thanks for watching the video. If you're enjoying the content, be sure to sub, like, share, and hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss a single upload. If you have any tips or story ideas, hit us up on Twitter at C15Podcast, or better yet, join our Discord server, link in the description below.